the Black Shift Group podcast. Our mission is to create space to elevate, enrich, and expose individuals of color to ideals and concepts that they may not have been privy to. This is your girl, Young Ree.
And I'm your granddad, and that's All Relations. This podcast is just real conversations with real people.
We're going to be discussing lifestyle topics such as overall health and fitness, finances, culture, decode some media, and so much more.
After all, no one really knows what they're doing, so let's just wing it together.
All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, what's the haps on the caps? Welcome back to the Black Shift Group podcast. This is your girl, Young Ree.
Granddad.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I feel like last week's episode was pretty lit, and I'm happy to be back to do this one today.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I just love how we go ahead and translate what we go through in life and make content out of it and go ahead and share it with other people. I love that about us.
Exactly. Because it's all about being able to relate to the people who are listening to you. And I feel like the things that we go through are the things that an average everyday person go through, especially ones of color, if you know what I mean. And if you're not black, I feel like you can still gain something from the conversation as well.
Absolutely. It's just opening up the point of view, causing a paradigm shift, as well as starting the conversation.
Yep.
I know we get complaints that our episodes are a little too short, but the thing is, we're not here to have the full conversation. We're just here to go ahead and spark your thoughts and get you to thinking on other things that you can go ahead and discuss.
It's like a strawberry shortcake. You know the little ice creams you get from the cafeteria?
Oh, God.
Hey, back in the day, like, it's short and it's sweet. Like, it's not the last. It's just for you to get as much as you can in that short amount of time. So, you get your brain turning. And then you be looking forward to the next episode. You know
Absolutely. And then by all means, y'all already know we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go ahead and share those episodes and be like, hey, you need to listen to this because I want to go ahead and discuss this. That's what we're trying to get done.
Exactly. And, YouTube is like our stepchild. Please go show YouTube some love.
Please.
Like, seriously, go over there and just leave some love, like thumbs up. Like I said, if you thumbs down, at least give us some criticism on why you did, but make it constructive. Don't just be straight out nasty about it.
Right. It's all love around here. All right. So today, guys, we do want to go ahead and open up a discussion because I do see where us as people of color, we have an issue within the community as well as with society around us.
Yep, it's a thing where if we are for ourselves as a race, it seems like we are against everybody else. So it's kind of like we can't be pro-black, if you will.
Right. My thing is, I want to be FUBU, for us, by us. So why can't we be pro?
Exactly. Why we can't relish in our melanin. Like why we can't enjoy ourselves. It's like, when the media gets a hold of us, being pro-us, it's like we're against everybody else. And, throughout history, it's shown that everybody else can be pro them, but we can't be pro us.
Yeah, I just think it's really weird that we can't live our best life, but everybody else gets to do that for themselves. We just wanted to go ahead and open up the conversation. Me personally, anybody knows me on a regular day, Young Ree, I'm pro-black because that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I can't be militant at times because that's just me. I'm just really proud of us. I'm proud of where we come from. I'm proud of the strides that we're making on a day-to-day. And I respect the fact that even though the odds are set against us, we still push past that and show them at all times we're always going to rise above.
Exactly. And it makes me happy to see that when people come from nothing of color and they become something successful, it's just like empowering, you know what I mean? So we as black people, we're born into struggle. We're born with less, and one thing my grandpa used to tell me back in the day is, as a black man, you are the lowest of the low. And that's something to tell your grandchild, but it resonated with me because now as an adult I see, like everybody wants us as a race to be at the bottom, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, we should be for ourselves and they should let us be for ourselves because nobody else is going to be for us and we not.
Right. You know, like how Jay-Z said, black excellence, baby, we gonna let them see. I stand by that, and that hits me to the core every single time, because I am proud of us. I am proud of the strides that we're making. The thing is, when we stand here and we be so proud and we raise our black fists and we stand, you know, next to our black men and they stand next to us as black women, you can be called racist.
That is true. Before we really get into the conversation, I had a situation like that happen. Mm-hmm. Y'all know me, I stay on debates like on social media. Like that's what I get on social media for, is to go onto like these racial conversations to see what people are saying in the comment section.
Right.
And I remember I had this conversation with someone, and it was like Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group. Oh. And you know, I basically, you know, went into the comment section. I was like, well, how many people did the Black Lives Matter kill? And then you tell me how many people the Ku Klux Klan killed, and they're still active today. You know what I mean? So you talking about, it's kind of like when people use that, like, oh yeah, us being pro is hating everybody else. That's kind of like them just kind of negating our situation. Like, oh yeah, y'all just need to be quiet, or just, you know, go on somewhere with that because you're messing things up. Like the balance is supposed to be against black people and not us rising up, which is, I feel like it is true.
I feel like it can be, it's set up that way. I'm not going to sit up here and say it can be. It is definitely set up that way. But the thing is, when you're made to overcome, when you're made to strive and be a creator, nothing can come, light can't come from anything but dark. I mean, we just got to be real here. It's not that it's biased or anything, but just basic common sense.
True.
Our hair defies gravity. Who we are is a powerful thing. The fact that we could have went through everything that we went through and still are able to function on a day-to-day. The fact that us as black women, we've had our men taken away from us, and we had to mutate and become something that we weren't. And here we are today, and still striving and still thriving. So yeah, I'm pro us. Yeah, I'm for us, by us, you know, and I feel that, for instance, when he mentioned the Black Lives Matter, I have no issue with the group when it initially started, because it was for us, by us.
Yep.
But my issue comes in is when you get people from other dynamics, from other backgrounds, now standing with you and saying that they're fighting with you. It can't be for you, by you, if you're getting assistance from others.
I feel that to a degree. Yeah. I mean, I feel like now with the Black Lives Matter, I feel like it's run by people who don't look like you.
Yeah.
So how can it be run by someone who is not like you? They can't understand your struggle. Like, they could never understand. I was looking at a podcast on Arian Foster's podcast called What Now? Mm-hmm. And he had John Carlos on there, you know, the guy, the Olympics throwing up the fist.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, you know, John Carlos was saying, like, the white guy, he got just as much flack as the black man who took the stand. He was from, I think, Australia.
Right.
And I understood what he was saying. Like, I always was told by my granddad this too. Like, white people do care. Like, some white people do care, but you can't expect them to understand what you are really going through. It's just, you know, they could stand there with you as people. If you go look at like the Million Man March or all those protests, and you know, you see white people beat up just as much as the black people. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, they want to help. But at the end of the day, you're going through something that they can never understand, because let's say if they disconnect themselves from the movement, they're going to go live their lives, and you're still going to be stuck in the life that you were born into, which is black people are at the bottom of the totem pole.
Right, and it's just crazy. I don't get how we can be discriminated against when we were born this way. We can't help that we were born into greatness. True. We can't help that the sun don't burn us. We can't help that our hair grows straight up.
True.
But because of that, there's an error. And there's a prejudice set against us. And you got to keep in mind that a person can't just say that they're racist. Racist is a systematic type thing. You have to actually have power to be able to racially discriminate against someone. That means you need to be able to control the things that they can consume, control the type of the quality of education that they can get, the quality of their neighborhoods. A regular, degular, schmegular person can't sit up here and be like, oh, I'm racist, I hate you, I have a prejudice against you, because they have no power. You must have power to be able to implement a plan to actually have a dynamic, a group of people set behind another group of people.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. I believe that the term reverse racism, I guess that was created by a white person, had to be, and that's no disrespect to white people right now, but it's just like how can that be? Like, I've been fortunate enough to meet hundreds of, probably 1,000 people in my lifetime, and I never heard or saw a black person just flat out just be on some some racist stuff to some white person just because. But I've been in the South where white people be like, "Igga this, igga that," you know what I mean? Like for what? Like what does that get you? But to clarify something I heard, it says there's a difference between prejudice and racism.
Right.
And they were saying like the person was saying everybody has a little prejudice in them. Like we may fear like white people in schools, like they may shoot it up, like that type of thing. And then he was like, racism is just flat out not liking someone and that you don't know based off of their looks or, you know, color, that type of stuff.
Right.
And how can it be that way? Because black people, we just want inclusion. We don't really want to be better than anybody else. Like all these pro-white groups, they think that they're better than everybody. And if you're not white, you're not right. Like we don't set to do any of that. We just want to be at a equal playing field at least, as far as like justice and, you know, moving forward in society. Like we can't even move forward. You know, look at Black Wall Street, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely making a valid point. And I don't want us to take this episode and make it seem like we're downing anyone's race or anything.
True,
All I have to say is that I'm for folks that look like me. But at the same time, there's always going to be a right and there's always going to be wrong.
Exactly.
There isn't that, because you look like me, you're automatically right, or because you don't look like me, you're automatically wrong. But blatant right or wrong, and some of the things that are set up against us, some of the actions that take place regarding us, they're flat out wrong. And I'm here to say that we don't have to accept that. As parents, we actually need to go back and look up our real history so we can start implementing that in our children, because our education is already being dictated. They only feed us what they feel that they need to tell us at that time. So thus you already feel like you're inferior, and we have to get out of that. So that's the point of this episode. The point of this episode is to shed light. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to know your legacy, to know where you came from, to know what contributions you made to this plane, because they're not going to tell you. So you need to educate yourself.
And that is true. We definitely got to go back. You know, they say history repeats itself. Well, we need to go back to the time where we as black people stuck together in times like this. It seems like we're so spread out. Like some of us want to be pro and some of us want to just be off the grid. Like some people will tell you like, I'm not worried about us as a black people. I'm worried about myself. Like we got to get out of that mindset, because it don't just affect you what happens to us as a whole. Like if the justice system ain't right for us as a whole, guess what's gonna happen to you? And don't feel like we need to come to your defense if you for yourself, right? When you get into some stuff that affects all of us, right?
Yeah, because what it is that you got comfortable with the illusion of inclusion, and you thought that because you made it to a certain point that it had no impact on you. And what you have to understand is that as long as your skin is the color that your skin is, and it don't wash off when you use soap, you got to understand that you're still being impacted by the same things.
We call that the Stacey Dash syndrome, bro. Stacey Dash was on like what, Fox, talking about black people, and then what happened? They fired her and she tried to go back to black people.
Yeah, I think she actually put out a movie, like her and Dame Dash got a movie get ready to come out.
You just sold out. And the thing is, it's also like the Cam Newton thing. Like I like Cam Newton, he's cool, but they were like white people were like down on him because he was dancing in the end zone. And then when the racist thing came, like when the whole kneeling thing came out, he was like he's not affected by it. Like what are you talking about? Like black people was riding for you when they were clowning you about being an MVP and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Cam Newton, but it's just like, dang man, like y'all gotta chill with that, because as much as you wanna try to be like fit in just because they're allowing you to fit in, like at the end of the day, if it comes down to them and you gone. Like that's just what it is.
Right, because you gotta find out who your riders are and who your shooters are. You can't just jump on the bandwagon because they signed your check. Because what you fail to understand is that if all of us actually took the time to learn our history, and all of us took the time to realize that inclusion is not really what we wanted, we would be perfectly fine. But you have to understand that there's levels to everything. There are some people that accept the way the society is and they're going to embrace it. There are some of us that are constantly digging and searching to find ways that we can build within the community and change the circumstance. And then there's some that's just like, it is what it is, you know? So it's all based on your perspective, how you look at things. But I just know, for us, by us.
Hey, I'll cop some FUBU while y'all playing. Like, people be clowning FUBU.
Here's my thing. I feel that you should bring FUBU back so that we don't have to worry about incidents as far as the HMN monkey sweatshirt, or the bathing ape whole controversy that stemmed out of that. I don't even know how they got pulled into it. Yeah, and then I feel like with the H&M monkey thing, just advertisements in general with us. Come on, guys, we've been the butt of the joke. You got to go look this stuff up so that when it takes place, you're not as shocked. You're not as taken aback. Yeah. Because if you, just like Kanye said, racism's still alive. They just be concealing it. Like, this is not just like a, oh my God, H&M, how could you? Like, oh my God, Dove. Oh my God, cereal companies, Rice Krispie treats. Oh my God, like, educate yourself so that you're not shocked.
I feel like people choose what they want to be shocked about, especially when it comes to racism, because some of your favorite people, like favorite designers and all that type of stuff, favorite food places that you like to go, they've been came out and said racist stuff, but you don't stop messing with them. Like, you still,
absolutely not.
Like, I could, like, you can't choose. That's like being hypocritical to a degree. Like, you can't choose when to turn it on and turn it off. Like, if it's wrong here, it's wrong everywhere. But you have to choose what you trying to defend and what you're not trying to defend. Like, that's being hypocritical.
Right. Everybody knows you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Yeah, because without further knowledge as far as the things that we went through and the actual things that we've accomplished, can get a we are the world kind of mentality. Y'all know the song, we are the world, we are the children. Like, that's not really what's crack-a-lacking in 2018. You guys got to recognize and realize that. You have to understand that people are biased to them and their struggles. But at the end of the day, we're born into our struggle. We don't choose this. We don't decide this is the battle that I'm going to go fight. No, as soon as you come on out, you fighting.
Yeah, I feel like people think that we are in a post-racist world. And that is not the case by a long shot. It's not the case. It's in everything. If you look, it's everywhere. It's in schools. Like, they choose what to tell you about your history. From what all I've taken from now, it's like they're trying to put a silence on black people being for black people and making it a race thing, where we just, like I said, it's kind of like we just want inclusion, or just leave us alone. Like that's how it seems. Like, it seems like we just like, just leave us alone then. Like, if y'all not gonna let us do our thing or let us be equal, like, just let us do our own thing then. But nah, it's like, we gotta still mess with you. We still gotta do this. We still gotta do that. It's kind of like the Black Panthers. Like, they was like, okay, if y'all not gonna look out for us and protect us and feed us, we gonna do it ourselves. And you see what happened to them. They came and dismantled the Black Panther group.
They definitely did. But yeah, I agree with that. I just definitely, when it comes to school, they dictate a lot. When it comes to school, as far as how they're allowing our children to come to school, telling them that their natural hair that grows out of their head is not acceptable. I mean, but I really just don't want to spend the time of this whole episode just pointing out all of the things that's wrong with society and why we can't benefit.
True.
What I want to say is that, take initiative, learn your history. If you're hearing someone speaking very harshly or very dramatic as far as standing up for the black community, and then you turn and say, oh, they're racist because they're not speaking positive for anyone else, go educate yourself first on the things that they're saying. We want the best for our people, because we know at the end of the day, it doesn't just start with me. I'm not just the individual. It's a condition that goes on throughout the whole world. Black and brown people are treated as less.
It's unfortunately, I listened to a lot of Tupac, and he said in one of his songs, tell me what a black life's worth. A bottle of juice is no excuse. The truth hurts. Because he was talking about this little girl who got murdered for stealing some juice. Like, wow. Like, and then, J. Cole said something as well. He said he checked the toe tag. How much is a black life worth? So it's basically saying like we are treated as less than thou, and it's unfortunately. And then when we try to uplift ourselves, it's always some BS of us, trying to be black extremists. Like, that's what they call it nowadays, black extremists. Like, what are we doing out here that's so extreme? It's like we can't do our thing in peace. Like, we can't roll in peace, because every time we do, it's a problem. Like I said, they let these hate groups, neo-Nazis and Ku Klux Klan, they get police escorts, and you can't mess with them. That's the crazy thing about it. And all we trying to do is just strive and prosper and maintain. But it's always like something is always an issue when we try to do it.
And you know what? Let's go ahead and take that title and flip that. let's be extreme. Let's be extreme on building up our communities. Let's be extreme with learning our true history. Let's be extreme with providing Black excellence and letting the kids be able to see what that is and how to accomplish that. Let's be extreme with bringing the Black family together. Let's be extreme with just any and everything that has to do with you and your community and people that look like you.
And I definitely do feel that. And one thing I want to do also is hold us accountable as well. We as a people, we have to come together. Like I said, I listen to a lot of Tupac. Like, I listen to a lot of Tupac. And I don't listen to Tupac for the reason that everybody else listen to him. You know, middle fingers up, thug life. Like, it's the in-depth intellectual thought of Tupac that is the gravitating aura about him for me. But in one of his songs, he was saying, like, it's like a trap for us because we are our own genocide as well. Like, they kill us, we kill us. Like, we got to get it together ourselves because, like, we got people out here who's against us as a people too, and they the same color as us.
Yeah, that's true. And I honestly just think that stems from miseducation. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be like that towards each other. The issue is that it seems like us as Black Americans being here in America, we seem like we're extremely detached from anyone because we don't really have an origin or as far as a country that we're from. Yes, we originate from Africa. Everything does. True. But for us to be here, it's almost like we're displaced. We're the stepchild because we don't have a country that's going to come and back us. I feel if we want any type of justice or any type of recognition to equal out the playing field, we're going to have to look for international help. We can't just fight this battle just here in America. We're going to have to bring this to international forefront and make sure that people are fully aware because just in America, no.
Word. I just think that if we were more aware of where we came from, we would definitely do better as a whole. Like, we would be more inclined to promote each other up and lift each other up because most of the people who hate on us, it sometimes do be us. Like you may be on like social media and the person, like all the people who follow you Black, but it's somebody on there who just don't like you because you doing what you doing. Like, we need to get out of that mindset of like, it ain't me, so I gotta hate it. Like, you should be uplifting us as a unit. Like, we all we got, to be honest with you. Like, we really all we got here in America. Like, I don't even know if African people in Africa really like relate to what we can go through. Like, I don't even think they'd be like, well, yeah, our brothers in America are going through some turmoil. We need to saddle up. Like, here on this plane in America right now, like, we are all we got. It's kind of like your parents telling you that you and your siblings are all you got, but on a broader spectrum, you dealing with something that all Black people in America is going through. So we gotta be able to come together more often than what we do come together for.
Yeah, you should be able to say what's up to a brother or sister as they're walking past and not mean mug them and not always think somebody's trying to holler at you, ladies. Black men, y'all should be able to, help a sister out when you see her coming. You see her walking up, open the door. That don't always got to be your woman, but just respect the fact that we came from the same heritage and that we come from the same struggle. I don't know why we got into this mindset that one is better than the other. Even within the community, lighter skin is better than darker skin. But regardless, that person has color within them. So why would you sit up here and try to make it seem like one is better than the other? I never understood that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a gimme society or like kind of like me only. Like, I feel like people are kind of selfish in that way. Like, well, if it's not about me, then why should I care? Because
what you fail to understand is that everybody else is about their group except us.
Man, what?
Like, do y'all not understand that the Chinese, they practice group economics?
Exactly.
Like, this is not a game. Indians practice group economics.
Exactly.
Whites practice group economics.
Exactly.
Everybody does it except us. So it's really just us that I don't know. We just have a major disconnect.
Yeah, like it's funny you say that because like everybody stick together but us. Like they come.
This is not a game.
Yeah, they come to their rescue themselves. Like, Asian people are thick with each other.
Yeah.
Indian people, they only mess with Indian people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And white people, to a degree, they deep down inside, they do stick to themselves.
Yeah.
And if you name any race, Spanish people, Mexican people, they click up with themselves. Like, you don't never hear no problem with, them going at each other as hard as we go at each other. You know what I mean? Like, we be going at each other's necks out here in these streets, man. Over
like, do you
stupid
think,
stuff.
Granddad asking, do you think that the past as far as slavery and all that, do you think that really conditioned us and it's showing up today?
I do because I know back in the day when like slavery was happening, they would not let the black people feel like they are connected. Like they'll try to cause a rift, and they used to call it Mandingo fighting. You fight the two black people. There's a rift now. Fight to the death. Nah, they family, and you know your family's out there watching these Mandingo fights. Like all this is conditioning with the whole rift in black people.
Right.
Like where the white slave owner used to go and just dismantle the most strongest, biggest black guy in the slave community.
Right.
In front of his kids, in front of all the other slaves, and that will let them know like, do not mess with master. And that's kind of the same thing they're doing with the whole cops beating them, you know, killing black people. It's letting you know like, don't mess with the cops, like don't try to go against us or this will happen to you. And it's on national TV. It's the same thing. It's conditioning you to be conformed to not trying to do anything like, oh, I'm not finna mess with them. I'm not finna go out here and march or do anything. I'm not finna link up and do that because these cops out here killing people and I'm not finna be one of those. So that was kind of like the same mindset they had when you was like a slave. They'll dismantle you, make you seem feminine, rape you all in front of your whole people. And, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think, you know, from what you're saying, it does sound like they're trying to keep us in a submissive type role. They only want certain ones to be able to cross the finish line so they can give the illusion of inclusion that you can definitely make it out and you can definitely make something of yourself. But as far as the majority, absolutely not. I personally, when I'm making these statements, it's because I have researched. It's because I have spoken with my elders. It's because I've done my due diligence to stand here and state the things that I state and state them with so much conviction, because these are things that I stand by. And when I have my own seeds, I'm going to ensure that I instill certain things in them that weren't instilled in me when I was younger. I struggle with low self-esteem. I struggle with feeling like I was not good enough. And what's crazy is that I was interacting with a younger child a few weeks ago, and you know, she was practicing something and she was just like, oh, practice makes perfect. And I was like, the thing is, practice does not make perfect. Practice is going to make progress, because each time you're going to improve on the last attempt that you made. And then somehow we ended up getting on the conversation of what a perfect world would look like. And for her to state that a perfect world would be blonde hair and blue eyes, I was taken aback, because this little girl looked like me. Her hair grows out like my hair grows, you know. It defies gravity, and her eyes are beautiful brown eyes, you know. So those are the type of things that we want to bring to the forefront with this conversation as far as why can't we be pro. Are you communicating with your children to let them know that they are Black excellence as soon as they hit the dough? So they have no other thought that's coming in and damaging their own view of themselves.
It's a question like, why do you think that people of color hate themselves? Because Malcolm X said the same thing. He, in one of his speeches, he said that, who told you that, you know, your skin ain't right, or you should have this type of hair or look like this? Like, who told you? Who prepped you to be like that? Like, to not want to embrace your nappy hair or whatever you got? What do you think that stems from?
I mean, look at what we eat. Look at what we consume. Look at our diet. You know, and when I'm saying that, that means look at the things that you look at on TV all day, every day, day in, day out, you know. Look at just in general, everything around us is telling us that Black ain't right. Like, it's constantly telling us that. If you even look up the definition of the word Black versus the definition of white, which they have listed as pure, clean, it's set up for you to feel away. If you don't know any other way, society is going to teach you to know this way. And this way is that you're not good enough. So it's everything that we're consuming and everything that's around us.
I'm thankful for my upbringing with my grandfather and everything like that, because they kind of told me the game. You know, my great-grandfather was the son of a slave, and he lived to be 100, and he died when I was 22, so I got all the knowledge that he had, and then my granddad and all that type of stuff. But the thing is that I realized is that people don't have that type of connection. Like, their grandparents don't really care to tell them about anything like that, or their grandparents wasn't in the field when that was happening. You know, they probably was doing their own thing while people was going through the struggle. Like, they probably was just living life like, yo, we don't want no problems, when people were out here trying to get us to a level of equal. I feel like that does tie back into what was given to you as far as your knowledge of having that knowledge, pretty much.
Yeah, what was your supplemental diet? Like, yes, you're going to consume what society has already set out there. But what were those vitamins that the parent or the grandparent instilled in the child as they were growing up? Some of us, we're older now, and a lot of us are malnutrition when it comes to knowing our legacy and knowing our history.
What?
So you need to go get that. Go eat that. You need to get some gains right now. So don't come and say that, oh, we're prejudiced, we're having an uncomfortable conversation when you haven't went and gotten your vitamins, when you haven't ate your apple a day.
Yeah, I think that people don't want to have this conversation, especially, or, white people don't want to have this conversation because they don't want to really admit that the things has happened. It's kind of like, just leave it alone. Like, we can remember 9/11, but we can't remember, slavery. You can't remember the injustice that happened to black people for no reason. But we got to remember all the national monumental days of tragedy, but we can't talk about hundreds of years of slavery. It's mind-boggling. And for us, the black people, like, you got to have a direct tie sometimes to it in order to know about what really happened, because we don't read. Like, people don't really want to read these days, like a select few. Like, I ask people, like, what you doing? Like, do you read books? Like, no, I don't read books. Like, so where you get your information from? Facebook is what you're getting your information from? Because Facebook, I be seeing people posting or reposting, little passages with strong messages and ideals and stuff like that about how it was for black people. But, like, do you really know what happened? Like, did you go and read and what happened during that time? Or you just posting this because you black, you just want the kudos for doing it? Like, you really got to go and sometimes read up on it and watch the documentaries. Like, but people don't really care to actually go do that these days. And again, they don't have a direct lineage to getting that information.
I feel like we have to take time to go ahead and point out our kings and queens that we've had in the past.
True.
We need to point out all of the inventions that we created. It's just common sense that the only people that's going to invent something is the people that's working hard that need to make their job easier. So just keep that in mind when you start to look up some of these inventions.
True.
So definitely go back. We're not always saying just go back and see all the negative things, all the grievances that we've had. Go back and see where we got the win. And we constantly kept getting the win, whether they wanted to admit it or not. Get those vitamins. Teach those vitamins to your children, because that's the only way that you're going to break the cycle, because they're not going to change it. And matter of fact, I'm not even interested in them changing it. I'm interested in us building up our community within, as far as the children that we're raising, building each other up, being able to, dap each other up when we see each other, and not always thinking that it's beef, and us moving forward.
Yeah, show love. I don't have any kids, and when I do have kids, I take pride in the fact that I can teach them what my granddad told me.
Yeah.
When my brother had his first child, I told him, I was like, remember, man, tell them what Grandpa told us. Like, let them know what it is. Like, being black is dope. It's dope to be black. Like everybody else, like the history books and everything tell you that it was all bad for us, and if you watch TV and the news, it's still bad for us. But, like, it's a mental thing. Like, go learn about Black Wall Street. Like, that is some. It's messed up what they did to Black Wall Street, but that is something that you could build off of. Like,
oh yeah,
like that type of stuff is inspiring. Like, to know that, like, we did come together at one point in time and had a community, had banks, had schools. You know what I'm saying? We was working together as a black community. We had our own thing going on for once. Like, what's stopping us from doing it now? Like, we got all these rich entrepreneur rappers and actors and stuff like that. Like, what are we really doing? Like, how are you really contributing to black people, but you wearing an anchor around your neck? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you out here doing to really uplift your community? And then you get flack. Like, somebody was mad at J. Cole because he was talking about what happened in the black community, and they was like, oh yeah, well, you don't, like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing as your contribution? Like, are you passing on that knowledge? At least, like, you don't even have to donate no money or nothing like that or start no school, but, like, what are you passing along? Are you out here uplifting, or are you out here bringing your brother down or something like that? Like,
right, because you want to keep in mind that when someone says one negative comment, or they give you one negative thing, it's going to take at least 16 positive comments, 16 positive things just for you to rewrite that one negative thought that you had. So it's not that we want to come in and just constantly point out, oh, they did this to us, oh, they did that to us. I'm not about playing the victim at all. I'm about taking your power and building. You know what I'm saying? Take your power back.
Yeah, somebody give this to Maker of FUBU, the guy who made FUBU clothing. Like, I heard, hey, yo, send us some shirts, you know.
Hey.
I don't mind rocking FUBU. Like, I definitely believe, and I be telling people sometimes, like, yo, like, let me know if there's any black businesses, like food places. Like, I'll go support that. Like, if you got something going on and I need that, like, if I can get it from a black person, like, I'll go do that, because I understand, like, we don't got no major backings behind the things that we do. Yeah. So we gotta support us. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gotta support us. Like, we gotta take it back to the days where we came together, like in the 60s. Black on black crime back in the 60s was kind of like far-fetched. 50s, like, we were trying to stick together, like, because we knew that the world was out to get us, so we was like close-knit.
It's like, where did the confusion set in?
Like, when they brought drugs into the community, like, I guess that's probably what happened. When they introduced drugs.
Everybody got a little high, a little confused, huh?
Yeah, and then it's me. I gotta get this money.
This money out here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I feel like we could reverse that. You know, you support a black business, you support a black family, you support a black child. You know, stop asking for discounts.
Yeah, man, stop. You don't go to these other places and ask for discounts. Well, you probably do, but you ain't gonna get it. Like, why would you go to them? And another thing is, like, LeBron James. Like, I love LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Like, he does a lot for the community, real life. Like, he opened up a school, like, but people bash the man so much. Like, I'd be like, what did LeBron James really do to you? Like, what did he really do to you? Like, this guy out here really holding us down as a black man. Like, he got us looking good out here. He ain't got no scandals. He ain't cheating on his wife. Yeah. You don't hear none of that. Like, he really making us look excellent. And we, like, some of us, like, black people, hate LeBron. Like, what did he do?
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely open this conversation up again. I want to get some of our elders here so that they can, you know, kind of unblur some lines for us, so we can understand when exactly did the shift take place to where everybody started embracing that black just ain't right. You know, it's like our culture is okay if everybody else is doing it except us.
That's real.
Our music, don't nobody want the black girl that got the big lips and the big butt, but you want a but you want a lighter version that's not even black that has those same attributes that we have.
Hey, look. I love black women. Something else that, like, I'm referring to Tupac a lot, because if you listen to Tupac, if you are a true fan of Tupac, you will hear the messages in his music. And he said something, he was like, if they could be black, they would switch in a heartbeat. And what that's saying is, like, everybody want to be black, but the black people, like, white people would be black if they could, if they didn't have to go through all the
they want that flavor.
Yeah, they don't want the stigmatism that come with it, as far as, like, getting beat up by police and all the, you know, the injustice. They don't want none of that. But if they can have the rhythm, the hair, the booty, the jumping and athletic skills, like, yo, like, we was gifted. Like, we gifted. If you think about it, like, we really gifted out here.
Yeah, we really got the juice. We just do not squeeze it that often.
Yeah, and then, you know, you got people who want to bleach their skin. They don't like the way they look. Like, what? Where? When did this happen? Like, you really don't like yourself that much? Like what? Like, why?
Yeah, so this episode, we just wanted to pose a lot of questions, you know, state some of our frustrations here and just kind of get them out. We're definitely going to come back and revisit this. We want to make sure that this episode gets out right before we get into Black History Month.
And also, when Black History Month come around, like, please look into the stories that you're sharing on the social medias. Like, I feel like people don't really want to even share stuff about Black history until it's Black History Month. Like, it should be Black History Month for you year round, man. It should be Black History year.
Yeah, because we did stuff all year round. We created stuff all year round. It's a lot of things that we enjoy right now today that, you know, black folks invented, and we didn't get that credit. Go ahead and go back and give your ancestors the credit that they deserve. Nobody else is going to give it to them.
Exactly. So please, I hope that this episode definitely got the wheels spinning on your head. Like, go do some research. Like learn about how it was. Like, go look up Marcus Garvey. Go if you need a place to start, go listen. They got audiobooks. Listen if you don't want to read, go listen to Malcolm X autobiography. Go watch the documentary on his life. If you want to go popular route, Martin Luther King. You know, everybody knows about Martin Luther King, but
yeah, that's all they wanted us to know about.
Yeah, like, but you should definitely know about Malcolm X too. Like, how his mindset was. Yeah. You know, the Marcus Garveys again, and Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead and do that. said, like, I think
go look up Dr. Frances Cress Welsing so you can have a better understanding of institutional racism, so that you're not confused and you're not throwing out that word at your own people and calling them racist when you don't really know what it is. Go look up Black Magic 363. He has plenty of lectures, just plenty of information for your mind, body, and soul when it comes to you being a melanated individual. Y'all already know we on Podbean, SoundCloud, Google Play, and YouTube. We got on YouTube so that you can take notes based on what we're saying and then go up in that search bar and type that stuff in and gain some more information. It's all about the knowledge, y'all, and that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, YouTube is your best friend. Like, I love YouTube. Like, that's the only place where I can watch, like, funny stuff and then go do, like, watch some weird stuff, then go back over here and watch some documentary. Like, yo, like, definitely use YouTube. Like, use that search bar. Like, look up these things. Look up the ideology of racism, the ideology of slavery, Jim Crow, all that good stuff, man. Like, you need to know. You really need to know. I feel like if you don't know, you are handicapping yourself. I feel like you're handicapping your bloodline because your kids are going to grow up and they're going to be on the same type of time. My nephew, my sister may not tell him, she may, but I'm going to make sure that he knows, like, yo, this is what it is. Like, don't be out here half-stepping because they're going to be trying to get you over here and over there. Like, you need to know as a black man, you need to hold yourself to a higher standard and don't let people, negate where you're going as far as mindset. Like, don't be over here because they say, oh yeah, because you listen to the music on the radio and they're like, oh yeah, well, it's cool to be on the block and have shiny cars and disrespect women. Like, no, man, like, you don't need to be out here doing that. That's what they want you to do, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a whole nother rabbit hole that we can go down.
True.
As far as the music industry and how hip-hop was created, and how they took that and look at what it is today.
Mm-hmm. Drugs, like disrespect women, all that type of stuff.
Guys wearing dresses.
Yeah.
Like,
feminizing the black man is a big thing.
That's a huge thing. And that's a rabbit hole that I don't think we want to go into for this first season.
Yeah.
But just know that we're real red. Understand that we don't just come on here making accusations or making statements that we have not researched and that we don't fully stand by. We just wanted to go ahead and touch base on this episode, get you guys geared up for Black History Month and some of the things that we got in store for y'all.
Yeah. I feel like when season 2 come around, that's when it's gonna get real. Like we just we don't want to scare y'all away just yet. Yeah, it's gonna get real, but again, we're not trying to make it seem like we are going hard on any other race. We just want to be able to be proud of ourselves. We just want to be able to be pro ourselves. We don't think that any other race is below us. We just think that our race is cool. Like
we lit.
Like you should be just as happy to be black as we are, or just as happy as any other race is about being them, themselves. And again, being pro black does not mean we're anti-white. I understand like the perception of pro is like when people say pro white, they don't want nobody else to be over them. Like it's like white or no way at all. Like the Ku Klux Klan. That's a type of white power, or they're doing this as a hate to another race. Like we're not doing that. We just like, yo, like we want to shine, we want to do our thing, we want to be included on the fairness that's going on out here. So that's what pro is to me.
So y'all see how he broke down what his pro was, and his pro was really great. We just gonna go with his pro. I'll tell y'all my pro season 2.
Hey, season 2.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much. We just want to go ahead and, of course, shout out those social medias once again: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why y'all don't be talking to us for real?
Yo, like then we said we would. If you leave what you want to be talk, like if you have something you want us to talk about, we said we would give an episode to address what people were saying to us. Like,
I mean, hey girl, hey boy, hey son.
Yeah, like you could have, shoot, my car got a flat tire. How you change the tire? Like I know how to do it, but if you had like oh yeah, my Cali converter need to fix. Like we'll go on YouTube and we'll give you some tips on the podcast.
I know how to fix a Honda, so
hey,
I'm just saying.
See, y'all could have asked us anything if you have like questions about like something that's going on in your life. You remain anonymous. We'll just give the advice to you.
Yeah. Just keep in mind that everybody can see the comments.
Yeah, like, you can DM the questions. But you know what I'm saying, if it's something you don't really care about, nobody knowing, like you can like just leave it in the comment section or just say what's up. Like, hey, if you want us to shout you out, we'll say what's up to you. Hey, what up? But you gotta use those comment sections though. You know what I mean? You gotta Facebook. You know, especially YouTube. Y'all treating YouTube like the Snapchat.
Y'all definitely are. But we want to go ahead and cut it now. Hey, cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it. And you know what? I actually do. I ain't bust out in song in a minute. You know what? I lied. I bust out in song in the beginning of this episode.
Oh. Well, episode to episode, it's been a while.
I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all with Solange. Is us. This shit is for us.
Peace.